Hello, and welcome to this Trade House London session with your host, DreDayFX. So today we are June 2nd, 2022. As always, we're going to look at the market here together using the Enigma AI software that we have to offer with DreDayFX. So if you're not a member yet, make sure to get your account as soon as possible. We have free accounts here that will be able to know exactly what we're you're seeing here and what product that you could get with DreDayFX. And we're just going to review the alerts that are sent out here live, if there's any, between 3 to 4. And we're going to review previous alerts that we had here overall for the week. And if you have any questions, we're going to be here to answer them. So I'm just going to start sharing my screen so we could look at setups here. Perfect. So there you go. Perfect. Okay. So basically what we're going to do here is we're going to review the previous alerts that were sent out. And we do have an alert that came out here a few minutes ago. That was NZD CAD for buy for uptrend move. So I'm just gonna share with you exactly my thought on that signal, and we're gonna look at the previous signals here. We still have one at 1 for G odd. So let's look at those. Okay. So right now we have buy on NZD CAD. As always, the alerts here are sent out here on the 1 hour chart with the Enigma AI system. So if it's the first time that you're seeing that system here, I'm just gonna explain you real quick how it works and how you use it the right way. Okay, so when you're going to receive an alert here, you're going to receive it on the FX setup here channel that we have with DreDayFX. You have the option here with the discovery package, and you could set up your own alert, so you don't need to rely on this channel to get the alert, because you're going to have access to set up your own alerts on TradingView. As you can see, it's based on the TradingView here, and the feed is Oanda. So you're still going to be able to use it on any other brokers when you're going to receive the alert, but the feed that we use is Oanda feed. So the feed could change in the future, but for now, this is the actual feed that we're using. Okay, so how you look at the alert. Okay, so it's going to give you an entry price, okay, with a stop loss and take profit zone. So you have 1, 2, and 3. So you have 3 zones you could take profit with. And as you can see, we're gonna zoom in. Okay, so this is the exact information that you receive here on the signal. Okay, perfect. So now when you receive the signal, okay, or the trade idea, okay, I don't not consider that as a signal, it's a trade idea. It's an expectation of the market going on the uptrend. Okay, so what you need to analyze is, okay, where are we at in the market? If it makes sense to take the trade at that position, okay. And if we look at the actual movement in the market, if it's a upward market or it's a downward market, okay. And what it's really great right now is that we added an extra feature for you to be able to understand exactly where we're at in the market here on the higher time frame. Okay, so you don't need to go on the high time frame to look at that information. It's going to be shown for you in the top right corner. Okay, and it's called Fusion. Okay, so it's really an option here that you could add or remove whatever you like. Okay, so you could add it if you want, but I would recommend to keep it on your chart. Okay, and it's gonna give you access to know exactly what is the overall trend here on a higher time frame. Right now, we on based on Fusion, we're on the downward market overall in the higher time frame. Okay, so my thought here is I always trade with the trend, right? So the best thing to do is, okay, is it going to be going up for a few hours and then go down, or if the trend is telling me that it's the opposite of the actual trade, i would I would say that the trade will not, maybe it's going to hit TP1, okay, and reverse, or it's going to continue and then Fusion will change to a uptrend and continue forward buy. Okay, so the best way to do that is to go on the higher time frame, just to look at where we're at in the market. Okay, so let's go on. I always start with the weekly. Okay, so right now we're Tuesday, so it's the end of the week. So we're just gonna see exactly where we at here in the week overall. Okay, so the week is bearish. Okay, so it was going on for the last 2 weeks, and then the week started here, right? This is the start of the candle. It went up and then it went down and it retraced. Okay, so we're gonna see exactly where it retraced specifically. So we're gonna go down on the daily. So basically, it retraced it today. Okay, so the last 3 days it was going down and then it went up. Okay, so let's go on the 4 hour to see what it did. And this printed out Enigma system is the version 1.0. Okay, why it's 1.0 is based on the color. If it's a 1.1 version, it's going to be a blue type color for the stop loss. And what we do here is we add the two of them all together. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you the settings here. So you have V1.1 and you have V1.0. Just gonna make sure that 1.1 is on. Perfect. So it's still the same details here. So that's how you have the two of them. So let's go down on a 1 hour. So it respected exactly what we're seeing on the weekly. So it was going down for the week, and now it's giving you a uptrend setup. So I'm just gonna go back here, switch it off. Okay, and you're gonna see the difference. Why now it's off, and you see it printed out. This is an extra feature that you may not know, is that if you put the filter on the version on the version that you're using, the FX setup that are sent out are based on the version 1.1. Okay, if you have the fusion on, the fusion trend on, is going to filter out the signal or the trade idea. That means that this trade idea is quote unquote high probability of not panning out. It's inaccurate. It may not pan out. Okay. So that means that you have the decision to take the trade, or if you remove the trend filter, okay, because it's gonna filter out the best trades idea possible for you, or you take it and you maybe you see that it's gonna go on TP1 or whatnot. That's your decision, like I said. Okay, so if you have the train on and you see the alerts coming in and you don't see it printed out on your screen, that means that your train filter is on, because there's an extra feature on that filter that will remove basically the noise, like we say. Okay, so if you receive a trade idea, make sure to maybe toggle on and off if you're on the version 1.1. Okay, because those signals are sent out with that. And regarding regardless of the version here, it's gonna be the trend filter is basically on the 1.1. Okay, most of the time. So just toggle on and off, like you see. Put on the left for you so you could see. So you see it here because it's off, and when it's on, you don't see it because the trend is going down based on fusion, and it's a upward signal. You're not going to see it. Okay, so make sure of that. Okay, so my thought here on this alert specifically is that we may go in that region. Why? Because there's an imbalance here in price. Okay, it went straight down here and then consolidated, and now it's doing a push up. So since we're Thursday and we have FOMC tomorrow, I will be really careful here on that trade. It could go up and then fake the market out and go down. But my thought here is it may go to in that region at least. So maybe TP1 or half of TP2, and then maybe reverse down. But we'll see. Okay. So so far I just want to make sure that everyone can hear me, because I didn't do a little test here before I started. So just type the number one if you first understand what I explained here since the beginning, and type the number two if no, type the number one if you hear me. I want to make sure of that. Okay, and type the number two if you understood what I explained. Perfect. Okay, great. So this is NZD CAD. So let's look at the GR trade that was the GR trade idea that was sent out here 2 hours ago, and that was for a buy. Yes. Okay. So this one was a great setup. Just gonna remove the drawings. It was a great setup, okay? And like I said, right now it's still showing you as the fusion going down, but right now the fusion is off. So if you have it on, because it's on the version 1.0 right now. So I'm just gonna to make sure that you're not confused on what you're seeing. I'm gonna put it off here. Okay. Now it's off on both of the version. So if we do Fusion on, as you see, what I explained is that you're not going to see the trade idea printed out on your trading view. Okay. So it will be sent out as a signal when you receive the signal, but you're not going to see it if your fusion is on. Why? Because it's a downtrend on fusion, and it's a buy setup on the Enigma system. Okay, so you have to toggle from on and off just to see where the trade idea was printed out, and you make your decision based on your technical analysis of the market. And this is a good setup. Why? Because as always, if you see an imbalance in pricing right now, and there's another indication that the trade may go in that region here, you may take the trade here in the upper direction, even though overall in the overall trend it's going down overall. So same process, we go on the weekly to see where we're at here in the market. Okay, so this week it was G-Odd was bearish. Okay, look at the daily. Right now it's pushing up, but for the last 3 days it was going down. And this is a good setup here for a downtrend move. When you see that pattern here with a doji, right, like that, that's a good indication that we're going down. Okay, but for today, since the start of the day, it's going up. Look at the 4-hour. Same thing. There's an imbalance here, and it could hit this target here overall. Okay, so would it be a setup that would took for a buy for a short amount of time? Yes. Why? Because of the market structure here overall going down. So that's a good trade. Perfect. And like I said, always make sure to toggle from for the fusion here on and off. If your fusion is off right now, you could maybe play with it and see. You could backtest it with the bar replay option that you have on TradingView to see exactly if you like it or not. And if you just want to receive the alerts and see it regardless of the market movement on the upper what do you call upper time frame, you just leave it off and trade it the way that you originally traded here with it. So perfect. So I'm just gonna I'll leave it off here, and I'll put the trend on in the back with the other one, so that way you can see it here. Perfect. So we're gonna have two of them. Okay, so for now, is there any questions on what we saw on the last two signals? And if you, let's say you have a pair that you want to look at, so we could look at the overall trend that we had for the week, and if we have any signals, you could drop the actual pair on the chart, and I will review that with you. Okay, I'm just gonna look at NDC, that is GR30. And meanwhile, okay, well, Logic well, okay, so we're gonna just look at that here in a few seconds. Okay, and what another thing here, what's great about the Enigma system is that even though you don't receive an alert on the system, okay, you're still going to be able to, if you have the fusion on, you could make a decision based on the fusion, okay, to take a trade based on your framework. Okay, so that's really a good example here that to take a trade on the GR30. Giving you an example on that, or GR40. Right now it changed to 30 to 40 here a few months ago. But unfortunately, Wanda didn't change their verbiage here on the system. So this is a great setup here for buy. Why? Because, like I said, you already have an imbalance here in pricing, and I expect to have that price going to that region, and especially Fusion is telling you that we're in the overall uptrend here for buy. So so that's a good setup here on that. So let's look at AUD, JPY. I'm just gonna close that. Close. Perfect. AUD, JPY. 1 hour. Perfect. Okay. So let's look at the weekly to see where we at in the market overall. Just gonna remove the drawings. Perfect. So overall, this week was a really bullish. We're really bullish on odd JPY, and I think we're basically an exhaustion here right now, but we will see. So we'll go down to the 4 hour. So as you can see, the 4 hour is right now it's there's a little consolidation here, and there's a limit. Pretty sure right now it's based on that price action here. So right now it's already exhausted, and it's as you can see, we could put a vertical line. Horizontal line. So right now it's there was a really some good resistance here. So we may expect maybe a little push up, and then it would go down. And right now, based on the setup, it may, like I said, it could still go up. There's a good room here to go up, and then to reverse down here eventually. So I expect to have the price going like this and then continue down. So we'll see what Friday will do with the price. But I expect to maybe to have RJPY going down here for the rest of the month. Um, so we'll see how it goes on that. Perfect. Let's see. Okay. No problem. Yao. Shout out to IT. Doing a great work here with EFX here overall. So really appreciate it. And if you're not a member yet, IT is really a great one of our educators here with EFX that give you a lot of good value and a lot of gems here on how to see the market here. So make sure to join as soon as possible here and get the FX Mastery package. So you're gonna have access to IT. We have Osman, aka the Asian Sniper, and myself, DreDayFX, that will give you some pointers here on how to look at the market and how to use the tools in conjunction with what uh, you're learning here at the same time. So you're going to be able to use the Enigma system that I showed you before and learn at the same time. So you're able to learn and earn while you progress with your trading journey overall. Perfect. So it's 3:30. Let's see. Okay, let's go back on previous setups that were sent out. There was one at I was looking at the USD CAD before when the buy came in. I'm just gonna see where it's at right now. All right. So you had a buy here. So the buy was invalid. Let's see. I know there's a few, take some notes here on the actual signal. So here at that point, let's do a bar replay just to make sure. Maybe it just changed for Fusion for a downtrend. So just to make sure, we'll do a bar replay. Okay, so let's slow the speed. Yeah, so based on Fusion, so at that point when the trade was trade idea was sent out, it was still a bearish overall trend for this pair. So, and when I say if it doesn't go with the trend, okay, it doesn't align with fusion, most of the time your TP will be reduced. So the trade may go in the direction of the trade idea, but it's gonna exhaust the the trade here. So right now it went to TP1 and then went straight down. Okay. So it was a small win, but if you're trading with the trend, it's better to trade with the trend than to go the opposite of that trend. Unless the trend is reversing, let's say it was the fusion was still going as a bullish, we may have went higher. But right now, since it was against the trend, it just exhausted the price here and went straight down afterwards. Perfect. So, is there any other currency that you want me to look at? And meanwhile, I'm just going to look at the previous signals here that were sent out. So yesterday we had USD Swiss and CAD Swiss. So let's look at the USD Swiss here. So we had it as a buy, and that was at 11 a.m. So let's look at the 11 a.m. idea. I'm just gonna remove that. And so that's the version 1.0 that I remove. And let's look at the bar replay. It's coming on. Oh, let's put that on. Okay. So in Dick's example, you had fusion that was giving you that we're going up, candle close, the 10-hour candle close, and it was bullish. But like I said, we always look at the overall trend to see where we're at. So I'll always look at not the monthly, the weekly. So for the last 2 weeks, it was going down, and then this week it went up and retraced it. Okay, but let's look at 4-hour to see where we're at. Oh, perfect. So this week, the week started here on the 30th, right? If I'm not mistaken, yes. So 30th, we started right here. So it was still an uptrend from here to here. So I said, okay. Now, so 30th, let's look at the market structure. So went down here. That was the low of the week. That was on Tuesday. I was going up. So if we go on the right, and I'm pretty sure there was some news here, but I have to double check. But that give you the high of the week right there. Okay, and I always look at where we're at in the market and which day we're getting these setups here to see exactly if it's a reversal. It could reverse on you based on where we're at in the market or not. So let's continue. So based on that, if you're taking advantage of fusion, I would have taken this trade if it was a live market. Let's see. So it went to TP1. And another thing, if you see the TPs are closer together, like the first TP is near the entry, it may or may not go in your favor here. So it could be a reduced uh, TP zone, and it's not gonna maybe take the full P. Okay, so that's something that I notice, that if the TP is really near the entry price or the start of the candle, not the entry price, but the start of that candle, okay, you could still take put a pending order here at the entry price and see exactly how it goes, because I think the stop loss, what is it, was 1922, so that's only 22 pips stop loss. So I would still take that trade here, okay, but I would have trailed it. So let's see. But as you could see, it only went to TP1 and then consolidated, and now it's down. Because this move, pretty sure if we go on the low time frame, I think it's a bigger imbalance here. Yeah. So something did affect the market here to go on the upside and then went nowhere. So that's good. Let's look at CAD. Was it CAD CHF? Yes, CAD CHF buy. Because if I remember, there was some news here on at that point. Yeah, there was some news. So sometimes when there's news and you have some big movement in the market, and you get a signal, could be a buy or sell, I would recommend to maybe avoid those type of move or those type of trade ideas, okay, because sometimes it's not gonna go that far, okay. And same thing happened here on cat Swiss, then USD Swiss went to TP1 and then went back down, okay. So another thing is really to look at, yes, where you're at in the market, but if we have any news or not, and news events will affect the market, and that's why we have educators here that will show you exactly how to handle uh, news overall, okay. and if you may avoid them, or how to exactly trade it the right way. Okay. So for sure, Enigma will send you some alerts here in news events. But personally, I do not trade news. And if you do trade news, be careful. Okay. Perfect. So I'm just going to go back here on H1. Perfect. So it's 344. Let's continue. We had the Euro GBP for buy. Euro GBP. And that was on. So it was yesterday. For buy. Right there. Same thing. I think so they were close together. We had some news here. Same thing. News. So it went nowhere. So it consolidated here since the signal was sent out. So that's exactly what I was saying here on the previous two alerts, news events. I would recommend to avoid them. Okay. Okay, so let's look at USD ZAR. And another thing, make sure to go on if you have the FX Discovery package. You have access to my weekly COT information here. So basically, we'll look at the commercial contracts and see exactly if we have some bigger movements here on currencies. And I always give you a list of the ones that may move here for the week. And so far, if we look at the signals that we're reviewing right now, we had CAD Swiss, okay, that I just reviewed. You have GBP that I reviewed. You had GOD. You had USD Swiss. Let's see. Yeah, I think what those, and I'm gonna look at another one here, but you see that most of most of the signals here and trade ideas that was sent out with Enigma were in correlation with the pairs that I told everyone here that has the FX Discovery package minimum. That those pairs would be the ones to look at for the week. And you have the big movers here. Those are the ones that has a bigger movement here in the market. So we're looking at the future commercial contracts, and I give you exactly the rundown on which one to look at. And same time, I'm gonna explain you exactly a trade that I took this week. That was one of the bigger ones, and I based on what I was looking at with the commercial contract is the one that makes more sense to take, and I didn't hesitate to take it, and I'll explain you why I take that trade. So it's the GPJPY. I'm just going to look at it right now. I think the trade idea was sent out Tuesday, if I remember. Let's see. Yes, exactly. So that was on Tuesday. Okay. That was this one. And it was sent out at 9 a.m. So let's review this one. 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 9 Withdrawing, perfect. Okay, so we're just gonna close this out. Perfect. Okay, so this is the trade that I took. I think I only took 2 trades this week, if I remember, 2 or 3 trades, and this is the one that gave me, I think, almost 2 or 3% up on my account, and I'll explain you why I took it. So my thought process here was, okay, I complete my commitment of traders, okay, my COT. I look at the pairs to look at. Okay, so this is like what my process here is, that I trade on my phone. Okay, so I add all of those pairs on my MT4 trading account on my phone, on my mobile, and I only look at setups that are sent out on FX setup in correlation with the pairs that I already analyze on the fundamental basis. Okay, so anything that is outside of this list, I do not trade. That's me, right? So you could still trade, take all the trade ideas that are sent out, but I would highly recommend to make sure to have the pair that you like to trade, okay, and or you trade the pairs that you already analyzed before the market started, or market started beginning of the week. Okay, so I add the list here of all of the trades, the currencies, and after that I look at the biggest movers for the week. And if you were on our FX Mastery bootcamp call on Tuesday, every Tuesday we're gonna have that. I explain exactly why I the raw data, and why I expect a bigger move on the yen compared to the British pound. Okay, so I'm not gonna go in deep on that, but I was expecting a bigger move on the yen in the downside overall. So I was looking to short the yen against, like, the to have the yen going in the downside. So anything that is against the yen would be going up. Okay, so in this example, it was British pound yen. I was expecting to go on the upside. Okay, to get a buy signal, and the buy signal was giving to us on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? Yeah, it was Tuesday. Yes, exactly. So Tuesday at 9 a.m., he gave us a buy. So I was expected. So you look at the 4 hour. So based on where we were at in the market, I was expecting the price to go here to fill up this imbalance in full. Okay. So I was expecting at least TP 2.5. And as you can see, it went all up to here. So when I saw that trade idea came in, I said, okay, I'm gonna enter my price to market execution right away. And another thing for my stop loss, what I use here is I go on the lower time frame. I'm just gonna put horizontal line on this candle. Okay, so I always look at the previous candle. This is the candle that gives you the trade idea, and I trying to find an area to put my stop loss. So most of the time, I do not take the stop loss that is shown on the Enigma system because I expect to have a smaller stop loss to have a bigger risk to reward compared to what Enigma is giving you. So the risk to reward right now on Enigma is basically 1 to 3, but you could have a bigger risk to reward, a bigger R, if you go on the lower time frame. And what I'm doing is I'm going on the 5 minute chart to see what I could where I could put my stop loss. Okay, so this is, just gonna see. So 8 a.m. here, 9 a.m. is here. So same thing, 9 a.m. So this is 9 a.m. candle. This is, just gonna put it on the a.m. Oh, it's a.m. Yes. Okay, perfect. So right now, as you can see, the Enigma is giving you a stop loss area of here, and the entry price, the start of the candle here, the 1 hour candle started here. So what I look at is where can I lower my risk, and I'm gonna put a horizontal line so I could show you. So I have, basically you can have two areas here based on the pricing. So you have here this candle here is an indication of an uptrend move based on that candle formation. And you have here at the entry price, you have a downward candle. Okay, so I always look at those type of small bearish candles that are, because since we're looking for buys, I'm looking for a candle that goes against the trend for a stop loss zone to plot. Okay, so here this one was near the actual stop loss zone, stop loss area that anyone was sent out. So I had the decision to put my stop loss here, or you had this candle that was at the entry price that I could put my stop loss. Okay, so I always put my I always enter the market at market execution. So what I do is at when I enter the market and I see that the this zone here is really near my entry price, I always take this one as my stop loss. And as long as the price is going up, my next stop loss or my trailing stop is this region. Okay. Then I see exactly what the market goes. And if it's still going up right now, this is a good area to put your trailing stop right here at TP1 if the market continues going up. So as you could see, the market was still going up and then went back down. But we're just going to look at H1 to see where we plotted, because we're looking at the H1 zone. Whoops. There you go. So if we look at H1, you see there's a big difference. On the H1, the stop loss was here, right? Because I was looking at the lower time frame stop loss. So the bigger time frame, the H1 stop loss was here. But as you could see, you see, so my first stop loss was at 161.36, but the original stop loss that Enigma gave you was 161.04. So that's, you see here, you're saving like 32 pips if you go on the lower time frame to plot your stop loss. Okay, so that's a good, the framework of what I'm doing is that I'm making sure that I minimize my risk, like as you like you see, to get a better, like a, based on my entry. And that way, if let's say the price reversed against me, I'm saving my account, right? I don't want to give the market more than what they want. Okay, because the base of trading is you want to make sure that you minimize your risk and you maximize your gain. And the exact process here is the best way to do. I hope that was a good explanation on how to set up your stop loss for everyone. If you saw some value on that, maybe press the number 3 so I can know that I'm doing a good job. But as you can see, the trade was really a good one, and it smashed TP3 here yesterday. Yeah. So, but as you can see, you minimize your risk here by doing that. You see, you have this first TP stop loss, and my second one that I was targeting, and based on my entry, you see the second one was, how much pips was that? That was a 7 pip stop loss. Okay. And the first one was 33 pips stop loss. Okay. So that's that. So we're just going to see if there's any setups here that was sent out at 4. No, we don't have nothing here yet. So that's it for this session. So hopefully you had some great value here on what you saw today. If you're not a member yet, make sure to join us by clicking the link in the description box below. And hopefully you understood exactly how the actual process of how to take the trades and how to analyze the trade ideas that I sent out with Enigma AI. And if there's, I'm just gonna wait for a few minutes if any of you had any questions. If not, we're gonna close this session. Okay, so any questions? Okay, so no questions. Perfect. Okay, so in that case, I wish you a wonderful week, end of the week here, and I'll see you in the other side. Make sure to join with Elevate FX, and if you want to have more sessions like that, we're gonna have some more sessions here. If you're in the bootcamp mastery with Elevate FX, so with myself, IT, and Osman, aka Asian Sniper. Have a great one.